If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Man, you know what? Let's stop. Let's stop. We ain't going to see you today. We just going to get right into it, man. It's a great day. Just great to be alive, sitting here with a great guest and my good colleague, my brother, my friend, old Mr. Pat Jira. Pat, just go ahead. Kick us off, baby.
Feel underdressed today, very
You
professional.
want me
Whatever you want, sir, but
only to make you feel more comfortable.
Some bills real quick. Politic and Jira Larry Love, episode number 36 here at the all-new Studio 239, brought to you as always by Becker Custom Builders, best luxury home remodeler in all of Southwest Florida. Of course, Lauren Maxwell, Maxwell Mortgage, the Queen Bee herself. Big shout out to Tina Del Rosa. Tax season's here. Go see Tina. I promise you. She's done my taxes. She's done insurance for me. She is the best. New office in. Her new office is in.
Oh, Cloiston,
Cloiston.
Florida. Cloiston, Florida.
Yeah,
Sorry about
and
that.
you can find her on social media as
Yeah.
well. Of course, Lee Corp Homes, DTA Naples, Miss Petra, Patrick Dearborn, the Patrick Dearborn team. Big shout out to him. And we also want to thank Salons Energy, Eric and Anita Carter. Of course, the Martin Law Firm. If you need a divorce, go see them. Offices in Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Tampa.
I hope y'all never need a divorce. That's just me.
And he's a good man because he flat out said when someone comes in, he's going to try to not necessarily talk them out of the divorce, but weigh the pros and cons. So he's not just looking to get someone's business. He actually does care. Also, shout out to Goated, our newest sponsor, Alamo, the Alamo Gun Range.
And when you're hungry, there's no other place to eat than Aldo's Diner. And make sure you go in there and tell them Larry Love sent you and order the Larry's Plate, which is a country fried steak and 2 sides. You can't go wrong. Look
Really
at me.
good.
I'm a pretty big boy. Big boy like to eat.
Yeah, Larry's got a meal named after him at Aldo's, along with several other people, but
Very cool.
they did good
Yeah.
on Larry. And then hopefully, possibly another new sponsor, Mr. Matt Goodwin, before we bring you in. This is first class all the way. I mean, you
Look
just
at the
set the
gentleman.
bar real high.
Yeah, man.
mean,
like,
Mr. Matt has brought us some of these delicious, I hear, chocolates. I'm about to try one because I'm a chocoholic. So thank you, sir. We'll try one on here. You told us a little bit of backstory about these
Well,
chocolates.
there's
where
8
they're
different
from.
kinds in that box. I met the boys who started this, or the young men, I should say, who started this chocolate company in the Hamptons, and they brought it to Florida where they have roots. They're out of Tampa. You'll see there's a card in there that tells you a little bit about them. And
Hampton Chocolate
that's
Factory.
exactly right.
Big shout out to Hampton Chocolate Factory. If it's from the Hamptons, probably a good chance.
Let me
it's
just
gonna
tell
be
you,
good.
there's a card in there to tell you every flavor that's in there. My favorite, personally, is the blueberry.
I'm going straight to the blueberry there.
You must.
Uh-oh, here we go.
You must.
Yeah, let's give them a shout
I
out
already
to
know.
Hampton
Pure chocolate blueberry.
Hampton Chocolate Factory.
This year I tried something different. I got gifts for everyone from, everyone goes to, what are those, Harry and David's, and, Mrs. Fields always trying to get us to buy gifts on the holidays. And then you got Raymond Love chocolates or Norman Love
Norman
chocolates.
Love.
Norman Love chocolates are good.
They
though.
are, but
Hey.
after a while.
Listen here. This pure chocolate blueberry. Oh, yeah, it'll do something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say they brought 2 kinds to the trade show I met them at. It was a lawyer trade show in Orlando last year, and blueberry was one of them. I kept coming back to the table and getting samples before I decided I was going to buy a bunch.
That's good chocolate.
So,
It is.
so Mr. Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
I know you and I just met. Let's talk about how we met.
Because I just heard this story yesterday.
You want me to tell you the story? Well, hopefully I get it right, because I do remember meeting you, was it at the Legends?
At Legends, yes.
event? Yeah, and I just came and introduced myself, if I recall,
Yes, sir.
because that's just what I like to do. I don't wait for people to introduce themselves to me, and I seen you on the podcast that you had recently started, and I said, I'd like to know this guy. He reminds me of a couple guys I grew up with, so I'm sure he's a character. And he probably don't have too many people like me come up to him anyway.
Not at all.
So I was like, hey, I know if I like him, he would probably like me. So let me
Yes.
just go introduce myself real quick, and then he can continue whatever conversation he was in after that. And the rest is history.
Yeah. Listen.
You told the story a little bit different, though.
There's a couple memorable salient
couple-
facts that I'm sure he recalls. And I knew he had some roots on the East Coast in West Palm Beach, Florida, which is where my hometown is. Born and raised in Lake Park, never far from the beach, Singer Island, Riviera Beach. And there was quite a few genres and rap artists up and coming from our area. So I threw a couple names out there. And I don't remember, it was
Old school, too.
there
Like,
were more people in the conversation. Splack Pack was the one of them. I don't know where it came from, but there
Tell us
wasn't
about
too
the
many.
Slack Pack.
There wasn't too many
Black
from
Pack.
Palm Beach County. So where I grew up, you start going to nightclubs at the age of 12. And that's because you can, right? So I started going to the nightclubs in the early 90s. And they, at the time, it was booty music, is what they call it, bass music.
yeah.
You know, I can't think. There's ton of people I could think of, but there weren't too many groups that originated in Palm Beach County. And so when there was one that made it at least state or nationwide, we would listen to them. We would support them. And Splat Pack was one of those from Palm Beach.
Because Palm Beach,
That
really,
made it.
when you think of it, hasn't had any rappers go mainstream out of
There was
Palm
one
Beach.
other
until
called-
recently.
Who's
Yeah.
that?
Kodak.
Kodak. Because that's, he's from,
Kodak Black.
yeah, where's he from? He's from,
Rivera.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
from Rivera.
And at one point, Riviera was the murder capital.
It was.
And let me tell you, kids didn't get kicked out of the school I went to for bringing for fighting, even though that was one thing.
yeah.
They got there for bringing fully automatic weapons and blades. You had gangs within 2 square miles of where I went to school. We steered clear of them, and some of my friends would get mixed into it, but I could tell you tons of stories because I was there for 25 years from age 0. So you can just imagine.
So how did you stay clear from that? Because, you know, I know you was rapping Splat Pack. I was like, man, we need to have him on air rapping Splat Pack. I say that was just so dope. Like, again, like, but to be able to still maneuver and still be cool and everything else during that time, man, I'll tell everybody, that's a task at hand itself.
I laid low.
Mind your own business,
I
huh?
didn't rub anybody the wrong way. If somebody wanted to fight, I would let them know, look, you know, I don't want no trouble, and that worked for a long time. I got into a couple fights. I've been robbed at gunpoint. I've had my jewelry ripped off me. I made it out of there alive, and I got a lot of good stories to tell. My friends have been carjacked. You know, I didn't look for trouble. If you don't look for trouble, you're bound not to find it. Right?
Sometimes it knock at your door, though.
Sometimes it will, and
Rarely.
But you still have to navigate
What's
your way around it when it
And
comes
you have to be
looking for it.
aware of your surroundings. I teach my boys situational awareness.
And
You know, I grew up having the basers and the crackheads come up to me, so I know which ones are safe and which ones, none of them are safe. Let's put it this way. But
and how old are you again?
43.
43. See, I'm 46. See, and I often talk about that crack era. It was very different. It makes you very sharp and smart. You got to know how to maneuver. And people that didn't grow up in those environments, they don't know, they don't have no clue. They don't understand. So I'm glad that you on air to even pretty much back up everything. But I was pretty much saying, you know, because it's rough. It was rough, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was really survival of the fittest, and it was definitely a lot worse where you at.
Yeah, I was one of 2 Jewish kids in the entire town. And I wasn't one of the rich Jewish kids
Right,
either.
right.
The other
You
one
weren't
might have
that
had a
rich.
little bit more than me, but you go down the street to PJ National, Ballin Isles, and a lot of really ritzy areas, Jupiter Island. That was all within 10, 15 minutes of where I grew up. So it was, there really was one side of the tracks and the other. And then in the 90s, they started busing kids from every neighborhood to the different schools. So that opened up. So you're in these schools with kids that live in some of the worst parts of town and kids that live in some of the best parts of town in the same public school.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to know them. I just, you know, befriended people and tried not to act like them because some people did, and you know, they're still
Just be
acting
you.
like them.
Yeah, when you just be you, people respect you for you.
That's right.
But how did you choose your college,
I
man?
was just going to get to that.
That just
How do you-
kills me.
Which
How do
one?
you end up 2 prestigious colleges? One,
It's only one. I give him one prestigious.
Michigan, yeah, definitely University of Michigan.
Okay, so which one are you not a fan of?
The University of Florida, which
Florida.
I don't
Okay.
think.
All right, so
a great law
Florida
school
picked
from-
me, but I'm going to tell you about Michigan first.
Yep.
So I wasn't going to go to school. I didn't need to. That's what I told myself. I was a salesman. What I kill, and if I don't kill anything, I don't eat. It's fine. I'll make 6 figures. I'll do well. And I hustled for a long time trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah.
And then I moved to New York City with my now wife, and before I knew it, we were in Michigan. I looked at schools in New York City. I was a loan officer at the time, and I did not want to go to school. I was like, this is crazy. I'm already 25 years old. And then I started seeing kids or men in their early 30s that were in that higher education. I was like, you know what? It's not too late. We ended up in Michigan, and I started at the community college, had 4.0. I was like, this is so easy, but it felt like high school.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is if you ever went to a community college. And then I got the opportunity to transfer to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and I got in. And University of Michigan, Ann Arbor has a 97% matriculation rate, which means the people who start there finish. There. They don't leave. And it's a good reason for it. The education is top notch.
They call it the Harvard or the Midwest,
That's
basically,
right.
right? Yeah.
And it's hard to get in.
It's a great school.
And it's harder for a transfer student to get in because you have to, like, why would we let you in? A, there's not a lot of room. And B, we got plenty of other people that want to come here.
I want to come here for 4 years, too, probably.
4 years.
Yeah.
But as an out-of-state tuition payer,
Yeah.
it costs a lot of money to go there for out of state. So I just went all in, and I knew I wanted to come back to Florida. Now, for whatever it's not worth, I played for the Palm Beach Gardens Gators, Palm Beach Gardens High School. And we had the same colors, the orange and blue. And, I was like, all right, well, my sister went to UF. My 2 brother-in-laws went to UF. My wife went to UF. My other sister-in-law went to UF.
Lord Jesus.
And if I could get into the law school at UF, then I'm going to go.
And that's Levin for the ones who don't know.
Levin College of Law. So when I got in, it was a month before school was supposed to start. I had admission at University of Miami, which maybe you would have preferred. But a day I went to Miami for a tour, it was August, middle August. If you're from South Florida, you know how miserably blistering hot it is.
Yeah, I was going to say Gainesville's not so much cooler.
Well, let's just say
It's a different type of heat.
August in Miami, with no shade. I was like, I wasn't thrilled to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was keeping my options open, and I got that invite to UF. And Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I went to the law school campus it was Valentine's Day the day I visited Gainesville, and I dropped in with a box of chocolate-covered strawberries for the admissions office.
You real smooth,
man.
boy. He know how to smooth somebody
Well,
else.
it was my wife's idea, and I won't take all the credit. But apparently, they let people go to school there if you bring them chocolate-covered strawberries. Because shortly after that, it took a long time, but
a fun fact. How much I hate
chocolates are.
Yeah, they
by
busting.
the way.
Even though this on there, I applied to 11. I wasn't accepted into 11.
what year?
That was 2007. I applied to 11.
Okay, mine was 11.
Yeah, so I wasn't
10,
accepted.
10 or 11.
Which it was crazy. I just knew I would. I just knew I was getting 11. I wanted to be back in Florida so bad. I wanted to go to law school at 11. I even didn't apply at Florida State because I was looking at some of the real best law schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, in Florida, and people don't know, there's only 150 law schools in America. So it's like your picking is real slim.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, 11. That was pretty good. But they didn't accept me. So I ended up going out to Texas.
Okay.
To go Marshall. And it was pretty cool. But I did get accepted into the University of Florida, but I turned them down in 95.
Okay.
I'm no-blooded till I die.
And what years did you go to University of Florida? law school?
2011.
No, Chris was
Okay.
way gone.
And
Yeah,
in
no, I
that,
know.
and I was the oldest one in my law school class, second oldest of
Wow.
800 at 30 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, the oldest was a retired math teacher. He was 41 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me stand out in not always a good way because I was, and the same thing at University of Michigan. I raised my hand. I challenged people that weren't used to being challenged. I challenged the professors. They actually appreciated it. But I graduated with honors amongst a lot of people that were also really smart because I was just like, you know what? Why can't I do it?
Sure.
I knew I like you for a reason. I went to school. I challenged my professor because they said this professor don't give out no A's. The first day, I told him to his face, I said, you can't stop me from getting an A. So I also put the burden on myself. And like, we often
Office
do.
hours.
Yeah.
Office hours is key. You get into their head.
He like, man, I know. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, what type of law? Let's talk about your law firm.
Let's talk about you getting out of law school. So,
Well, when I got out of law school, I had a job lined up.
Yep.
And it was lined up for a year and a half. They do what's called on-campus interviews. And get a job offer, usually take it because they only go for the top students. And I consulted advisors I had on whether I should take this job. The job market wasn't great. This was 2013 when they were doing these on-campus interviews. I graduated. And it was for family law. So everybody said to take it. Everybody I consulted with, experienced practitioners, professors, take the bird in the hand, right? So I took it, and it was in Tavares,
Central Florida.
Central Florida, the heart in Lakeland County.
Polk County.
Or Lake County, I should say. The heart of Florida going back 75, 100 years, which was at one point I learned going to be the capital of the state. But because of all the segregation there and all the controversy, they moved it to Tallahassee. So this is near Groveland. There's a lot of stories in the Grove. And then also, not the Coconut Grove, the Orange Grove.
Yeah.
The Orange
A little
Grove.
bit different.
I
Yeah.
don't know. He don't know nothing about that. He don't know nothing about
I know about Coconut Grove. Yeah.
So I took it, and my boss, I got a lot of respect for him. His name was AJ Rowe. He taught me a lot of things in a short amount of time, and then he fired me. And I think it was probably best for both of us at the time.
Okay.
And when I started my practice, so I went to the public library for months, and I studied branding and practice development. What am I going to do? I wasn't necessarily thinking practice areas. I was thinking, what is it like to start a law firm? And once I designed my logo, the website, everything. And then I was about to sign a lease in the Villages where we were living at the time. A lot of elderly
You
population.
too young to be in the Villages.
I was too young to be in the Villages. And then people say, well, you went from one retirement community to another? So I'm maybe too young to be in Naples in 2015. And at the time, it was a little more questionable, but I look younger than I am. At least I like to think. So
You do.
there was a decision to be made. My wife's like, let's go to Naples. Like, I'm about to sign a lease. No. What do you mean, Naples? I've never even visited in Naples. As soon as we drove in, after I begrudgingly agreed to go, I said, all right, I could live here. Saw the palm trees. And I
That
consulted.
reminds you of Palm Beach probably a little bit.
Fast forward, I did a month here in a vacation rental where I was just networking. I was cold calling people all around town. I was going to all the events with the chamber, ribbon cuttings. I did that for almost a year. In that first year, I actually met Tim Jarrett. We had the same executive suite in the Regis Center. And I just got acclimated really, really fast. And Tim will vouch for me on that. He said, you're doing it right, and a lot of people who didn't believe it could be done, meaning an outsider come here at young age and break into these small circles. They told me, go to Lee County. It might be a little lower barriers to entry in Lee County, which maybe they were right, but I was never one to take the easy way. And I also hated doing what people told me to do.
Yeah,
so I would sometimes do the opposite, even if it was to my own detriment. And a lot of times my first response to something is a no, and it ultimately turns into a yes. And 90% of the time it's a good idea, and the other 10% not.
And tell us a little bit about your law firm, real estate law firm.
Yeah, so we focus on real estate transactions. We service people across the state. We've done business about 25 different counties for title and escrow and independent seller representation. So we function like a title company.
Yep.
I have an office in West Palm Beach. The primary places are Palm Beach, St. Lucie, Collier, and Lee counties. I've had offices in Tampa, Hillsborough County, and a couple other places we've had people working from home. But the rest of it is probate administration and wills and trusts. So if you're planning for your estate after your death or for your incapacity, that actually started taking more of our, we started doing more of that when real estate started to soften in 2023, where everybody across the country saw about a 35% dip in their volume. And then we have outsiders coming in, diluting the market share. And it's like, well, I was an outsider at the time. I wasn't an established outsider, which is what you're seeing over the last 10 years, whether it's law firms, title companies, whatnot. But it's good. It's healthy because it shakes out the people who aren't fully vested.
Of course.
And it distinguishes the people who are.
Yep. Talking about with another business owner, how it's, been a tough period the last year, but it's going to weed out some of the people that, necessarily don't have to belong in that business. So
That's right.
The strong survive.
In every industry, you can apply that.
And you said this to me yesterday, but say it on air. What separates, from a title company standpoint, what separates you from one of the, seems like there's 1,000 every time I go to an event, I'm meeting
I got a title company. Title company.
One of the biggest things is so I can answer legal questions and assist with keeping the deal together from a legal standpoint. These contracts that they sign are more than 10 pages long. There's a ton of legal landmines in there. So when a situation comes up, I help the agents navigate it. Now, there are some title companies owned by lawyers that offer that same thing, and there are some that have lawyers on staff. They do that same thing. I try to make myself available, which is why when you call my office, I don't answer. But if I'm working with you and you have a question that's time sensitive, you can get through to me. And that's how I add value, right? If I was available to everybody all day, then it would be impossible to perform good service for everyone. I have a total of 7 employees, and most of them have their hands on the real estate operations of things.
Beautiful office too, by the way. His office is top
I wish I
notch.
could have been there yesterday, but
Thank
I
you.
couldn't.
And you have an office in Palm Beach too, correct?
Yeah, 45th Street.
Okay.
Oh, 45th.
Yeah,
Right
Magnolia Park.
Right off the exit?
Yep.
Now, Larry didn't ask this question. Usually ask it when we start the show, but 'cause I know you have a lot of passions outside your business. So who is Matt Goodwin?
Matt Goodwin is an artist. And I start with that because I've been an artist since I was a toddler, visual art. And then I moved into the entertaining media, the visual too. And I started playing the drums at 15.
Yep.
I started beating on the desk in school at age 10, not always get in trouble for that. But when you grew up where I grew up, you can make music out of anything, and that's what you do, and then you get the crowd going, right? It's like you got somebody else freestyling over here, and you're playing a beat.
Who was the drummer you looked up to?
That's a great question. I didn't really look up to a drummer
no
per se.
particular drummer.
People would say when I started playing, they're like, "Hey, you remind me of Tito Puente, who was on the timbales." And let me tell you, the timbales are really hard to play. I own a pair, but it's a really harsh drum, and if you don't know how to play it, you sound like you don't know how to play it.
Sure.
But Carlton Buford with Dave Matthews Band is definitely inspiring. And then the guys who play with like Carlos Santana, that's the kind of stuff that inspires me. I used to go to places on Singer Island where they would play roots reggae and soca music. 2 different bands, 2 different venues, 2 different places. And I would just ask the guys in the break, "Hey, you mind if I want to play with you guys? I want to go up there because I know all those songs and I can catch a beat." So I started playing accompaniment to these bands that were established. The most fun was the soca bands, the calypso style, because it's fast, it's rhythm, it's rhythmic, and then I learned more about music when I was in college in Michigan. I did some art history class or music history classes, but I'd go to the orchestra, the Dearborn Symphony Orchestra, Detroit Symphony Orchestra. So I've always been real big into it. And then there's the visual arts. Everything went digital. 2001, I went to a vocational school where I learned graphic design and website design and development. And so when you put all that together, it provides for a lot of creative space, and that's really what I enjoy the most.
Have you been to Sugar Shack yet?
have.
I picture you just loving that
I'm
place.
hearing
So
about
I
that
went
place.
to
Yeah, I know.
Sugar Shack session for the first time several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you put the headphones on and they're recording tracks right there at this house that you're sharing with the people who live in the house. And then the artists in the break, Cashed Out was the group that was there the night I was there. You don't know who's going to be there.
Okay.
I
Like
haven't
a
been to the
pop-up,
new Sugar
basically.
Shack place.
Yeah,
Haven't been to the big one yet. I can't wait. Life's been a little complicated lately, so I haven't gone out much.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, any live music venue, I am usually the first one to volunteer.
What's the best concert you ever been to?
You know, I've been to a lot of
No,
good concerts.
just
All
one
right,
that
so
jumps out like.
John Legend was incredible.
Ugh.
He's not necessarily.
Ugh.
He's not
Forget the
necessarily
politics.
I know. I just
working the
don't
crowd. But that boy can sing, man.
Yeah.
He
He's
can
I
sing.
saw
talented.
him in
I mean, I
Vegas.
gotta take away from his talent.
Yeah.
But I
I
seen
saw-
Michael Bublé, and he can sing too.
Okay.
Pitbull at Jermaine, I seen Mark
saw
Anthony
Pitbull at
twice.
Jermaine? Okay.
I'm a big fan of Mark Anthony.
Anthony.
He
Mark
bring him out.
Anthony,
Yeah.
Not everybody. There's a lot of haters.
Well, I think the whole
Because
J Lo. That's
they jealous,
yeah,
man.
It's the whole J Lo
like,
thing.
I just-
Mark Anthony's extremely talented.
He's that dude.
Yeah.
He is.
Then you sang
He's
to
incredible.
me.
He's
Yeah.
incredible. And one of my dreams is to be on stage playing the drums at a Mark Anthony.
Wow.
I did get to play.
You seem to accomplish anything you put your mind to.
Well, if you
so,
know anybody who knows him, just
It kind of remind me of like that TV series, like Parker Lewis Can't Lose. That's
you just can't lose.
he just
Yeah.
can't lose.
Great TV show, by the way, Parker. Wow,
Oh,
can't
thank
believe
you.
you referenced that. Parker Lewis can't lose.
So
Careful with that
With
Ben
the-
stem.
with the Super Bowl, right? And I'm not going to bring up Kendrick Lamar, but the pianist, Baptiste.
mm-hmm.
What did you think about him? It's crazy because a lot of people don't even know
I was
who he is.
I had my mouth open a little bit, I think a little droop. I was just like, wow. I had to give him a chance because I didn't really know who he was at first. And I was like, oh, they're going to do another one of these? I was like, okay, all right, this guy must be really good. He's got all these awards, accolades. And then I listen, and everybody else is small talking. I can't stand when there's something on, especially if it's like that, and you got people wanting to talk. So I like to listen. I kind of tune it out. And I did that. I was at a house with a few people, kids in the back too, and like a bunch of kids. And I really listened, and I was impressed.
He's that dude. And see, I have a piano in my home.
I do too.
So it's like,
You like to play?
if that's what you want to call playing.
Well, you like to strum on the piano? Yeah, that's
I'm
me.
okay. I'm a little decent.
I would say I'm okay.
A lot
can't-
of people didn't know that, but that's one of my things. I grew. My mom, we couldn't afford no piano, but we had a little keyboard, and my mom used to always play on the little keyboard, probably about that wide, and she used to have me come sit with him. But she was always playing gospel music, and so that's what we used to do. I used to start with Mary Had a Little Lamb, then I graduated to Lean on Me, then I graduated to I Need Love.
Can you play Lean on Me?
Yeah.
The piano?
Yeah.
See, I can sing Lean on Me.
Go ahead. The microphone, yours.
Well,
Well,
it helps when
Larry,
you have
you can't play
the
Lean on
track
Me
in
on
the
the-
back.
You won't bet that.
Yeah, I won't bet that.
I meant
bet
you
that.
on the piano, me on the mic. Right now, I ain't gonna do it.
We
yeah.
can do it.
There's
What's
sometimes in our lives we all have.
somebody
Yeah.
to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Best TV show you've seen in the last? I want to get to know Matt Goodwin. Good TV show in the last 5+ years.
Well, I gotta admit, I like The Walking Dead, and I did get hooked, and I started watching Fear the Walking Dead. But what I really liked, something called Slow Horses.
I knew
Slow
he was going to
Horses.
mention something that no idea about.
I'm gonna tell you about it.
Please do.
Slow Horses, but Tulsa King as well.
Oh, I love Tulsa King.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you about Tulsa King first. So, what's not to like about a gangster that goes to Oklahoma and shakes things up? I mean, Sylvester Stallone. I don't know how much surgery he's gotten, but
He's got a few.
he's still looking good, and he's still a badass in my book. And I
Lives
got
in
hooked
Palm
on
Beach,
it.
doesn't he? Still on?
He might,
Yeah.
he might, but he only had one season, and they came out with a second one, and I was so excited. So that's one I like. Slow Horses was about this spy organization in the UK, and you got this sloppy drunk leader of the Reject, where once you get kicked out of the top notch organization, they send you to the slow horses.
Okay.
That's what they call them. But it's just such a cool dynamic.
Okay.
It's that typical spy, a lot of fighting, shooting, but also mystery.
And favorite restaurant in Naples? We can do breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then we'll roll into rapid
Favorite
fire.
restaurant.
You could do a breakfast one, you could do a lunch one, you could do a dinner one.
What's that little one? Is it I don't know if it's the patio, the one on 3rd Street that has an indoor-outdoor cafe. I'm really bad with names.
3rd Street. Tim, help us out.
That might
here.
even be part of the name, 3rd Street Cafe. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's that hidden. It's got 2 patios and an indoor, 2 outdoor seats. That's my favorite.
Not Ridgeway, not Barbatella, not.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, like Lana's maybe. Anyway, breakfast. Also, First Watch. I've never had a bad meal.
First Watch is consistent.
I know it's a chain, but I get the
chain.
healthy turkey omelet and a juice.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
And dinner.
Dinner. Bartulia.
Bartulia is solid.
Let's just say it's one of the few places that I don't mind paying that kind of money for a good meal.
And they're not like ridiculous. I mean, they're not cheap, but no one is. But they're not ridiculous.
And then what's the one that does? Is it Sales that does that brunch?
Sales.
Oh my gosh! Let me just tell you, if you ever go there for brunch, make sure you Uber, unless you live local, because
bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and jam.
You should not be driving. Yeah, it's you come out and you're like, the sun's in your eyes. You're like, I feel like I've been up all night, but you really been.
So it feels like you were at Club Space all night, basically.
Yeah.
But eating.
Yeah. And drinking.
Yeah.
Sales will do it.
Best networking place that you've been to recently.
Recently, it's got to be Legends, hand down.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Cedric. I'll holler at Cedric for putting that spot together. Let me tell you, everything about it. It's roomy. You got indoor, outdoor. You got other stuff nearby if you don't want to stay. And when it's over, and plus you got good-looking people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overpriced, and they know how to entertain. They got good music. I mean, everything. It checks all the boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Cedric always brings the city. I did a good job on that one. Larry even walked away with a free bottle. Well, not a free, but he walked away with a bottle. Don't look at me like that. Bottle of Casamigos. I'm just.
Well, listen. I'm just saying.
Cut,
you and Blake
chop that.
Don't throw me and Blake what?
I was trying to get the Goodwin table. Like, even though I love tequila.
But let me explain Larry Love to you, okay? So
okay.
Blake was a sponsor. As a sponsor, you get a complimentary bottle, da-da-da.
Okay.
Obviously, Blake doesn't drink.
He don't drink. Larry the only one drink.
Which is fine.
I drink. We could drink.
No, that's
and
fine.
And you always have one of my favorites.
That's
fine.
Azul. No, that's fine. It could have stopped right there. It could have got a bottle of Tito's. But old Mr. Bougie Larry Love, no. See, I need a bottle of Casamigos because even though you drink Tito's, you carry around a baby oil bottle, but a free bottle at the restaurant is not good enough for Larry Love.
My guess, it wasn't good enough for
Blake
me
had to pay
Larry,
a couple extra bucks.
Like,
but
we got a certified snitch on the air right now.
Let me just tell you, you probably made a much better choice with the Casamigos because that Clase Azul wasn't no joke. He's like, that'll be how much extra?
Funniest to watch him carry out in the backpack too.
Next time you'll see me with a Casamigos in the bucket.
Hey, that Casamigos get you down through that though. That's real good.
It's a couple extra bucks, but I guess worth it.
No, it's smooth. That's what I buy at Costco or Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And the Reposado is legit.
George Clooney made a couple bucks off the Casamigos.
Yeah,
that was a good investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You trying to throw me up under the bus, man. That's what you be trying to do, man. I gotta watch you, man. I gotta watch
you, the baby oil in there. I don't know what that was about, but
and you know what I'm saying?
Long story.
You know that's what he do, man.
Tim, this is between us, right? It's just between us.
Okay, between us when everybody else watching.
Yeah, no, stay here. So
no, go ahead and tell it. It's his birthday.
Do you have your baby oil?
Today?
No, it was his birthday January 28th.
Okay.
So I have my little container of my holy oil. And anytime my beat get dry, I just wet my beat with it. And
it's literally like a little Johnson & Johnson.
Okay.
And so they're like, he's trying to be like Diddy. He walking around with some baby oil. I say, oh my God.
We did cover our drinks.
That's a low blow.
That was a low blow. It really was. But those are the type of jokes what Tim G, Pat J, and Blakey were.
That
It
me and Blake
resonates
were
with
in the
people because
shower.
the name.
That's not no rumor.
That's not.
Hey, listen here.
Me and Blake have never been in the shower together.
First of all, who answered their phone in the shower? And then on top of that, it's another dude.
Hey, business never sleeps.
If
man.
I
Listen,
had my
you
phone
know,
and it rang, I might
yeah,
answer it.
Yeah. What if it was important? What if Blake, I
Hey,
need to talk
you
to
interrupted his YouTube
I'm
video.
not talking to no dude while I'm in the shower. That's just what it is. They might have been videoing each other while they're in the shower. I don't know what's going on.
You just don't hit that video icon when you're, especially in the toilet,
Don't
right?
hit the FaceTime by accident.
Yep.
But anyway.
And then you flip the camera around.
You know, there's been some stories going out with them too, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to pause for the calls for that
Yeah.
one, but I just don't know. I still love you, though, homeboy.
I have proof from the other night that there's no. All right, let's roll into rapid fire. You got to pick one or the other. I won't do politics with you because I know you don't do politics, even though I know you supported Tim. So, no,
I make exceptions. There are always exceptions.
That's what I meant by it. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, we know you, Patrick. You be throwing them the darts undercoverly,
Not
man.
at all.
No, that's okay.
That's the only reason Tim lost, because of you.
Apparently.
Like Tim would have won if he would have never had you working on this campaign.
What's so funny, D?
It's true. Everybody knows it's true.
All right, great show, guys. All right, let's rapid fire. Standard one.
50 Cent or Jay-Z?
50 Cent.
Thank you. Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
Def Leppard or Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi.
Palm Beach or Naples?
Depends on what I'm there for. If I'm there to live, Naples.
Okay.
If I'm there to play, Palm Beach.
Okay.
All day.
My man.
If you can combine
Going to
the
the
two.
Breakers, huh?
That's one of the spots, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of them.
Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune?
Always forget how to answer the question on. So Wheel of Fortune. I love those word games. Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye or Eminem?
Eminem.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
Well, I mean craziness aside.
Well, look, they're both. So Eminem is a lyrical. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
There might not never be another guy quite like him, right? Kanye, you probably got a few guys like him, but he is a poet, and he is a master poet
And a
master producer.
standpoint.
He just Eminem never let his ego get to him like Kanye did, and I don't know why. He just
Sometimes those geniuses, they become eccentric and lose their mind.
he had to
though. I mean,
defend a
that's-
lot,
You know?
and
Some of the
he's not
stuff
a
he
mute.
said was, don't
know?
agree with anything come out recently, but some of the stuff he said a year ago turned out to be true too, with some of the, especially the Diddy stuff.
I like a lot of their.
So
I
what?
like a lot of Kanye's
I'm talking about the Diddy
music.
stuff, not.
Yeah.
The man stay
Jeez.
talking about the Diddy stuff.
All right, we'll roll through then. Fifth Ave or Mercado?
Mercado.
Okay. And I'm curious on this one. Think not last year, but overall, Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Drake.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone thinks Kendrick because absolutely destroyed him with, We Not Like Us.
But Drake copied a lot of people's lyrics.
But
man.
Drake's career he's the number 2 most downloaded live stream
Yes.
rapper of all time.
When
That's true.
Drake started making it big, I didn't know who he was, so I had to look him up. And I don't remember what year this was.
2008?
That sounds about right. I was out of the scene. I was, going back to school at the time, and I remember hearing. I was in Michigan, suburbs of Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and Drake was big.
You ever have Buddy's Pizza?
No,
No, really? That's a Michigan
I
thing.
have another rapid fire for you.
Yeah.
May they rest in peace. As an attorney, Thurgood Marshall or Johnny Cochran?
say Thurgood Marshall.
How about Matlock or Perry Mason?
Perry Mason.
What about Angela Lansbury then?
Yeah, I think you had
Murder,
asked me
She
that once
Wrote.
before, and I was thinking, all right, I was thinking Columbo. Is that an option?
Was Columbo a lawyer or detective? Detective, yeah.
That's a question for Tim.
Matlock never lost.
Matlock was actually one of the shows that I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Matlock a lot.
Yeah, and it was cool.
And Murder, She Wrote. Man, I love some Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, I could picture you watching that.
I still do watch
You
it.
watch Golden Girls. And
I do.
She Wrote,
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
right at 3:30 in the never
He was
mind.
ready for that one.
Everybody know I love Golden Girls. You know, I watch Golden Girls. Yeah.
I Love Lucy.
I love Lucy.
Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Ooh.
Don't be a menace to society while drinking your
Yeah,
juice in
that's
the
the
hood.
parody. Tim's looking at us like he has no idea what's
Okay, so that's the first thing. All right, so I know. Yeah. But let me answer it. Boys in the Hood. Hold on. See, now I'm mixing them up. Which one was Tupac in?
Neither.
One was,
Now you thinking about Cube. Cube was in Boys in the Hood. And you thinking about Above the Rim.
Yeah, Menace to Society was
That's what you felt.
raw.
Yeah.
I would say Boys in the Hood you felt too, though, especially.
Well, that's where they were riding out in the 5.0s. Bobby was one of the actors, I think.
You're thinking of Bobby Johnson. That's
Yeah.
South Central.
But in Menace to Society, Buddy ran, he drove up in the 5.0 on them days playing that Computer Love.
Yeah.
That's when that came.
robbed,
Yes. Yes.
And he was.
Then he got shot up later.
Yes, he did. Came.
Yeah.
Came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but if you threw this in there, I would have said hands down Belly.
Really?
What?
Wow. Belly was very well, the art and the production. But
I grew up with a lot of
story-wise,
Jamaicans.
It was all over.
I grew up
the
with a lot of
place.
Jamaicans,
So you're a
so
big Ox
and
fan.
Bahamians. And that's something about that movie. I had one friend that had a DVD player with a big 15-inch speaker sound system, and it was like a bus. And he would play that with the black lights going, and it was just such a
So you watch Shotus too, huh?
such a moment.
Yeah.
Shotus.
All right. Pleasure having you on. Go ahead and plug anything you want to talk about, where your office, where you're located.
We're in North Naples.
Yeah.
One stoplight north of my favorite place to go at night, Mercado.
There you go.
Right on the corner. We close real estate transactions wherever you are in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it at the same rates you pay most of my fellow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think Tim
Thank
G
you.
can vouch for that, right?
Well, Tim said it. Since he said it, we've been closing Tim's deals for 9 years now.
yeah.
And all the sheriffs in town.
It's probably not that many, but that's the ones who close. Just kidding.
Tim, why he
Tim.
always
Just
taking
kidding,
shots
just
at
kidding.
you, man?
If
It's
you
love.
if
I'm
you
just kidding.
are planning for your estate, we do foundational estate planning with wills and trusts and advanced healthcare directives, powers of attorney. We do flat fees on all of our engagements unless it's something that is potentially contested or you don't necessarily have authority, like on a probate, and we're giving you advice that you're going to take. We're also doing a lot of for sale by owners. We just got another call this morning about one where they're selling their property without agents and they're using lawyers to write up the contracts. We're doing about 5 to 10 of those a month right now.
Okay.
And those are tricky because they're all a little different and there's no agent to lean on. So realtors are my friends. They're my biggest referral partner. And I don't bash my friendly competition, and I don't certainly bash the hand that feeds me. But there are people out there that want an attorney involved in the transaction, and that's when you call Goodwin.
Call Matt
I
Goodwin.
ain't going to take the business from you. I'm going to service it just like you would, and I'm going to add value to the transaction. And so will my team.
I just came up with an idea.
Quickly.
2025. We get the black limousine. I drive you. You make all the deals in the back.
Mobile closings with Larry Love.
Yeah. You don't know what movie I'm talking about.
We
do
can
you?
get a life-size
With
Sylvester
Matthew
Stallone for the passenger seat.
The Lincoln Lawyer, man. With Matthew McConaughey.
No, I was just you driving around Edgerton in the limo. That's
That too.
The lady who cuts my hair calls me her Lincoln lawyer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know Larry went to Jamaica just to play a tennis game? Fun
See,
fact.
now you telling lies.
Hey, but that's pretty awesome.
I didn't go just to play tennis.
I'll
What did I say?
I'll pull the tape.
I didn't say
Oh,
just
I
to play
don't-
tennis.
Well, you can
I
make
said
video.
with business. Before you do it, let's make a bet right now. On air. Let's do it right now. You call it. I know exactly what it said.
I don't care who tell it.
Make the bet, Patrick.
Hold on. Whatever you
See?
want. Lunch wherever you want.
Shake on it.
Everything.
Man, I went to Jamaica just to play tennis.
There you go.
And you went to talk about it. And I said, we also
Hey,
signed.
put that on one of these buttons here so you have it
And
ready.
listen, and see,
It sounded like Larry Love.
see, the thing is, that's what the media good for. They only play a certain clip.
Out of context. I get it.
They
That's
only
what
play a
happened to
certain
Kanye.
clip.
I know it.
He don't play the other part
In
that
case
say,
you missed it, we'll replay it.
see,
Everything.
see,
Man, I went to
Pat,
Jamaica just to play tennis.
you gonna owe me. And I'm taking you to Andres. You taking me to sales. We're going to sales on your dime. Oh yeah.
Okay, if I ever lose
Make
a
sure
bet,
you
to
You
Ooh,
just
that's-
lost this
that's-
bet. Because I also said we had to handle business. And once we was done handling business, we got on the plane and we flew back. I know
You
what.
said I didn't say I flew to Jamaica just to play tennis.
Nah,
but
you know exactly. You said just to play tennis.
that's what you just
But
said.
I said I also handle business.
Were the
See, you
Williams
left that-
sisters there?
No.
They grew up. in
He
West
had a
Palm
contract
Beach.
to handle. And so I was just in on that contract.
Okay.
So that's all it was.
On that note, sorry about that, Matt. I have to check. Larry.
He always be trying to
Fact
come
check.
at me, you know, you can't beat me, so you try to cheat me. Often imitate it, but never duplicate it. Yes, sir. Try again, baby.
I think the
Try.
video just proved. I don't know.
It's a
what
good
more-
balance. It's a
I
good
don't know
balance.
what more. I have video, audio of you saying it. So
You worse than WBBH, man.
Yeah.
You just gonna take little news excerpts.
Well, you guys enjoy those chocolates.
no, I absolutely will.
Oh,
You got one of the last boxes of the batch.
We really appreciate Goodwin Law, Real Estate Probe, Wilson Trust. Tim can obviously vouch for Matt. I know a lot of people can. Top-notch office, full staff. We appreciate you having you on.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate
It's
it.
been fun,
Pleasure.
man. It's been real fun.
And we
I was
gotta
ready
bring-
for this one.
And we got to bring you on when we start doing the live show next week.
Oh, yeah.
You come on periodically and talk about, business and the community and stuff.
Okay.
So we'd love to
Sounds
have
good.
you
And I'll
on.
have you on mine once I get that thing rolling.
Yeah, we'd love to. Real quick, if you want to just, you got
Well,
your own
so-
the name. I
So
love the name of
I
your
started
podcast.
a podcast called Goodwin Law Unplugged years ago. I made 30-something episodes over like a 2-year period. And it's time consuming, exhaustive, right? And I had a host and I have, a guest from time to time. But then I'm rebranding it to something called Beyond the Briefcase, conversations about law,
I like
life,
that.
and community. And that way I can just have people come on and talk and we'll be doing it from my office where it's all laid out and
Yeah, we'd
everybody
love-
but Larry's and Tim hasn't been by there yet.
I was gonna say everyone, but Larry's invited, but that's fine. I heard Tim moved your car. He did scrape it a little bit, so
Okay.
I think that'll be fine.
I was always taught they say the best for last.
Yeah.
got
Okay.
insurance.
You go ahead and get the losers out the way. Sorry,
Okay.
Pat.
You can come at the end of the year.
What was it? Whose way was they got? I didn't see no markings on the.
Let's not even. Yeah. We'll end on that note. Thank you very much, Matt. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I don't want it to be on the.
Oh, gotcha.
We already got enough.